Even though you work as an HR department of one, did you realize that you should have an unofficial team? That's right. Even if you're working in the HR department by yourself, there are 4 key points of contact that you should have on standby at all times to help you get through the tricky situations. It's a dangerous game to play to try to figure all things out by yourself. So these 4 key contacts are going to be really, really helpful for you to make sure that you're not only doing your job well, but it's also going to help you to answer those tough questions that you get from employees and those that come up for your team. Hey, my name is Brittany, CEO and founder of Talented Teams Consulting, where I work with HR Department of One professionals to help you to grow your careers with intention. We are now on day 10 of this 30-day series, where over the course of 6 weeks, I'm releasing videos every Monday through Friday at noon to talk about ways to build your career with intention. The goals are simple. I'm helping you to not only build your experience, but build your credibility and ultimately to transform your career. So today we're talking about the support team that you should have in place even when you're working as an HR department of one. Like I said before, it's a dangerous thing to try to figure it all out on your own, and you don't want to reinvent the wheel when you don't have to. There are resources and there are people out there to support you, and you've got to tune into them. And I can almost guarantee you have relationships with at least 3 of the 4 that we're getting ready to cover today. The first part of your support team for your HR department of one, you need to make sure you have a direct line or at least a contact line for your payroll support system. So whether you're using Paychex or ADP or any processing provider, you need to realize that your payroll provider, they are the payroll experts. They have CPAs on staff, they have payroll experts on staff, and as an HR department of one professional, it's likely that you are not a CPA. It's likely that you are not APA certified. You might not have the expertise to know all of the intricacies of the payroll system, but you can still adequately process payroll every pay cycle. So the goal here is to avoid, again, spending countless hours reinventing the wheel. Typical payroll providers have regularly scheduled webinars and seminars, and even provide opportunities for you to schedule a call to talk with a professional on the line. So from system-specific information about how to do this and how to do that, to timely information about year-end reporting and ACA reporting and things of that nature, it's important to know what your payroll system can do. We're all guilty of getting access to systems, whether it's payroll systems, benefit systems, or whatever, and not really using it to the full potential. But with the payroll system, figure out what your payroll provider can do and make sure you're tapping into that. Oftentimes we hear about people who are not satisfied with their payroll provider, but I like to think of it in a different way. So even if you're not satisfied with your payroll provider, understand a few different things. First, understand when your contract is up. 2, make sure you understand what you don't like about your payroll provider. 3, when you're looking for different vendors that's going to take the place of that payroll provider, figure out what you didn't like about the current one and then use that to tailor your questions for the next one. Again, like I said in the prior video, everything should always build on top of each other. Nothing is ever wasted. So even in an experience where you're feeling like you're not getting exactly what you want, use that to make a better decision the next time. The next member of your HR Department of One support team needs to be your benefits broker. So again, just like the payroll support, you are likely not a benefits broker yourself. And so if you have benefits that you're offering to your employees, you likely are working with a benefits broker. So making sure that when it's time for things like open enrollment, that you're not doing that by yourself. When it comes time to making changes with your carriers, so they should support you in that process. Believe it or not, the benefits brokers are a great support to you and they want to keep your business. So make sure that you are not only utilizing them at open enrollment time, but that you and your team are utilizing them throughout the year. If someone has a question about maybe a coverage that didn't go through or an unsuspected charge or something that just didn't really make sense, lean on your benefits broker to make sure that you can navigate those relationships between the employer and the benefits carrier. Again, they're there to help you throughout that process more than just open enrollment. So make sure that you have that number of your benefits broker and that email address of your benefits broker or whoever your account manager is, because they can help you to navigate that relationship with your benefits carriers much more effectively than you can on your own. Now with the payroll provider, you may or may not have a person that you can contact. You'll likely have maybe a contact center. Your benefits broker, you should have a person's name, but this next contact you should definitely know on a name by name basis. So the third member of your HR Department of One support team needs to be your labor attorney. Your labor attorney is going to be your right hand when it comes to figuring out how to deal with tricky situations. Whether it is a person who is on an FMLA leave and they've exhausted the leave and you're wondering what you should do next, or whether it's a person with a workers' compensation claim that you're not really all that sure about how to process, or whether it's a person who is a disgruntled employee and they're filing a charge against the organization through the EEOC or through other litigation. Again, when faced with difficult situations, especially when you're involved in precedents and things of that nature, you want to make sure you are tapping into your labor attorney so that you don't make the wrong step. When you're reaching out to your labor attorney, make sure that you do your work on the front end. Provide them as much information as you can, but make sure when you send the email, put in the subject line attorney-client privilege. Again, everything is discoverable when you're working in HR, especially when it's written down, but information between you and the labor attorney is protected. So as you put that in your subject line, attorney-client privilege, put the details of your information. The goal here is just to make sure that you're making an informed decision, you're using your resources wisely, and you're making sure that you're leaning on everything that you can to make the best decisions for your team. The fourth member of your HR Department of One team that sometimes goes overlooked is an HR mentor. Now again, even as an HR Department of One professional, you don't have a direct supervisor likely that is an HR person or has an HR background, but that's why I'm also creating this community so that HR Department of One professionals can come together, can lean on each other, can lean on my years of experience that I've gained in my 15 years in HR leadership. HR departments are difficult to manage, but to be in a department by yourself is uniquely difficult because, again, you don't have anyone to lean on. You're wondering if you're doing things right half the time, and to feel the weight of the role on you is very stressful. If you have not already downloaded my free guide, How to Thrive as an HR Department of One, the 5 things that your HR career demands, I invite you to download that today. It's really going to help you to create a blueprint of what you need within your career. And if you are interested in all these things that we've been talking about over these last 10 days, I'm looking forward to the next 20 days. I invite you to come back to watch these videos. If I can help you at a higher level, book a discovery call with me. I'd love to learn more about you, where you are in your HR career, to help you get some clarity on what comes next within your career. But again, the goal of this series has been talking about how to build your career with intention. The more I talk to HR Department of One professionals and I learn about what stresses you out, what keeps you up at night, the biggest things are your experience, the pressure to know so much, your credibility and trust of your team, and then also sometimes I'm finding generational differences. So figuring out whether you're younger or older than those around you sometimes is difficult to navigate, as we have so many generations in the workplace at one time right now. So again, I created this community for you, HR Department of One professionals, so that you know that you're not alone out there. There are people out there that are there to support you, and if there's anything I can do to support you on a higher level, I would love to do that. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.